Okay, that's enough.
Wow, it's a great theme song.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Geek Spot News Show. Jack's going to add the song in for you podcast listeners. You already heard it. You podcast listeners just heard the song. You live people did not hear the song.
The magic of after editing.
Oh,
Thanks for giving me that opportunity today, Frank. I really appreciate it.
I used to be really good at doing all this.
Did you?
Yeah, well, if you like the podcast a week late,
that's
two.
nice. It's nice saying it's only a week.
Hey, sometimes I group them up 3 at a time.
Yeah. Sometimes we covered, the show after the show was over.
Yeah. Hey, Charles, how you doing, buddy?
We had a whole season before we posted a podcast episode. It was good.
There was times that happened.
Oh, look, you're streaming Destiny 2, Ron Day 2. That's exciting.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What is streaming? How is that? I don't even know what that is.
I'm so glad you're streaming that on Twitch. Hey, Pete.
Hey, Pete. Yeah, the Twitch. I started. So, little backstory. I started to stream Destiny 2 the other night for the raid, and it apparently overtook the channel, and didn't change back when I changed it today. So I will work on that while you say hello.
Hey, and my mom joined. Look at that.
Hi.
And hey, hi to all the people out there in podcast land. You got Jack right here with you, and Frank on the other side over there.
Yeah.
Bringing you all sorts of news. We got Oscars, we got Mandalorian, we got Last of Us, we got whatever other news Frank could scrounge up through, frantically searching the internet, as he tends to do.
I do.
And all his news sources that he has at his disposal.
Right before the show.
Yeah. So I'll talk about my week while Frank's fixing his Twitch stream there. So we've got not a lot going on. I didn't catch up on too much besides the stuff we usually watch. I am all caught up on the Bad Batch. I will say after episode 9 and going forward on that show, it gets a lot better. They actually start to have a storyline and move it forward, which was very serialized the first 8 episodes or so, which I was just not into, which I was like, it was all filler. But they really started to move the storyline forward the last few weeks. So if you haven't been keeping up with the Bad Batch, I highly recommend it. You can legit skip the first 7 episodes. But they pull in what they're getting into now is how the clone army got decommissioned and where the stormtrooper army came from, and the full backstory behind it, and how they treated the clones at that point, and how they brought stormtroopers in. Where did they find their gear? How did they fund it? Because that's our new thing in Star Wars, right? Let's make it as real to government as we can. What's up to Dom, too, in the chat? He'll be joining us live in a little bit. He's got a new show he's going to be advertising.
Ooh, there, I fixed it.
As well as talking the Last of Us finale with us, as he's a aficionado of the game. And the show itself. So we got all that. Other than that, I was up to my kids were in a musical all weekend, so I was in full on Shrek the Musical Junior for 4 days last week.
Yeah, how did all that go? That looked
great.
Like fun.
It was great. One of them was in the company, the other one was the big bad wolf. So every line he had was laughs with the crowd, which was awesome.
Oh, that's great.
All the kids were great. It was 2 different casts. They rotate every day and do every other for 4 days. And they were all fantastic. You'd never think it was middle school putting it on with the caliber that they brought to the whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was great. But that was about it. And then, I got St. Patty's Day gigs and stuff coming up this weekend, but we'll talk about that later on. Okay. If you want to know now and you can't wait, you can always check out Jack Kid Music on your phone while you watch the stream on your computer.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. How about you, man?
What did I do? I had a very boring weekend. Seems to be the thing of late. I fixed the Twitch stream, I believe.
Oh, over the weekend?
No. No, this weekend was so the video game Destiny. I've mentioned it many, many times before. This is the overarching yearly update. So they do a big overarching update every 6 months. Okay. And this one started on February 28th. And this is the big new raid. They do like one new raid every year, and this was the big raid. Was this past weekend? It dropped. It drops for 24 hours in what they call a contest mode, or actually, it drops Friday noon. Yeah, Friday at noon to Sunday at 1 because of the time change. Usually it's 12 to 12, but because the time change, push it forward an hour. And it's where they disable a lot of stuff, and then it's kind of like a harder mode to do it in. So doing it in the contest mode is usually a lot harder. And the clan guys that I play with, we've never been able to actually get one done in the contest mode because they're really, really hard. This one wasn't as hard, and we were able to get it done on Sunday. So that was the majority of my weekend. I did finish my AT-AT walker, which I'll show pictures of later, my little Lego endeavor.
So it's not AT-AT?
I've seen AT-AT. I've seen AT-AT. I just call it an AT-AT. I was trying to be correct for people, but I did watch another episode and a half or so of Bad Batch, and it is starting to get into as you said, it's starting to get better. There's starting to be a plot now, and I'll dig into that. Obviously, watch The Mandalorian.
I've heard of that show.
I've tried to watch History of the World Part 2, and I'm 2 episodes in, and I don't know if I can go any further.
More than I made it.
It's so not. It's so forced.
So we can talk about that real quick. So yeah. I'm an episode in.
Okay.
And I feel like if this same thing would have come out 40 years ago, it would have been cutting edge and great.
Correct.
But they went with the same humor that it launched with that doesn't translate to 1, HD, and 2, modern sensibilities. Like, you have to figure out, and I don't think and maybe it is later on in the series they have, but at the beginning at least, they didn't thread that needle of making it non-PC enough to be funny in this context.
No.
And PC enough to work in today's
it's
humor
not
style.
No, and I'll spoil a little bit of the second episode because I don't think you really care.
Looks like Pete agrees with us.
Yeah.
He watched it all.
In the second episode, they have a little skit where they're all on the boat going to Normandy, and literally it's just them throwing up and telling why they threw up, and they're just kind of like leaning over to this, turning to the side and throwing up, and like that's the joke, and it's not funny today. Like, it was maybe funny 40 years ago, but it just wasn't funny. Like, they all went AWOL, and this guy went, then they did this, and they ate this, and it didn't agree with them, and this guy got left out, so he feels bad, so he throws up, and then this guy throws up, and then the guy that's in charge, the sergeant that's in charge, is telling them all to stop throwing up, and he shits his pants. Like, that's the joke, and it just wasn't funny. Like, I stopped watching at that point.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just they modernized the wrong stuff, and they didn't modernize the right stuff.
Yeah. It was very, very hard to watch. Other than that, I didn't do anything. It's a lot of been playing Destiny lately, and it's getting the characters up to level so that I could continue to do this stuff as we go forward.
Very nice.
Yeah. Newsworthy stuff. I got a couple of things, not a lot, just to kind of like real quick touch on. The Dungeons and Dragons movie is getting great reviews.
Awesome.
It's getting it's really good reviews. It's getting high praise. The tagline says, movie reactions praise it, rolling a nat 20 on fun. And I don't think the guy that wrote the article knows what that means, but I'll take it.
Maybe he knows just enough to use it in a headline.
HBO Max is changing. They're going to revamp it. And hold on, it's going to be called Max.
Yeah.
The merged service will be called Max, with executives fearing that HBO could turn away certain potential subscribers.
So that's HBO Max and Discovery Plus, right?
Correct. Yes, that's the new streaming service. In addition to the name change, the service will feature thousands of new shows, mostly lifestyle programming that was previously on Discovery Plus. The current $10 a month ad-supported tier will stay, as will a $15 or $16 ad-free tier. A new tier priced at $20 is also reportedly being planned, offering higher quality video and other offerings. It really doesn't pay to cut the cable anymore.
No, and so that's going to be comparable to Netflix, right? Netflix is $20 a month for their high end with the 4K and everything.
Yeah.
But does HBO have the content that Netflix does? I don't know that it does.
I mean, with Discovery Plus, it has content that I'm not going to watch. It does have the DC stuff, right? It still has the DC stuff, the older DC stuff, and then the HBO movies.
Some of it.
They're
licensing. Westworld's not on there anymore. They're licensing away HBO shows left and right to like Pluto and Tubi. Not even to like, oh, we're gonna give this to Netflix. Like they're selling stuff. Like speaking of the HBO thing, right? The new Batman Cape Crusader show, and I know we're not into DC yet, but like that is going to Amazon Prime.
I mean, it seems like so MGM and Amazon merged, right? Like Amazon bought
MGM. Yeah, they bought them to get the Bond catalog.
So that's why there's going to be a Creed universe over MGM and Amazon Prime. It's going to include a spin-off focused on Adonis's deaf daughter, Amara.
Okay.
Jonathan Majors has teased being involved in this Creed universe going forward. I don't think we need a Creed universe.
No. That's our problem, right? I'd rather they leaned into the Rainbow Six universe they tried to build for a minute with Michael B. Jordan instead of him getting into too many franchises now.
Right.
As he'll be in DC at some point.
He absolutely will be in DC at some point, though he refuses. There was an interview clip where the interviewer actually asked him about that, about playing the version of Superman that he's supposed to play.
Yeah, Val-Zod.
Val-Zod. And he just kind of looked at the guy and he went, uh-huh. And you could hear the PR person in the background go, we're not talking about that right now. We're not talking about that. And the reporter goes, well, I had to try it. And Jordan leaned over and fist bumped him and was like, props for trying. So.
Yeah, I don't think that movie is going to get made anymore.
I think it will down the line. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be, we go back to the problems, right? By the time we get there, Michael B. Jordan, who is still a very young man.
Yes.
Will be like 50 by the time we get to that, and too old to do the job. Jonathan Majors will still be young enough.
He'll have shown back up on Friday Night Lights, the reboot.
Oh, god damn it! He'll be the coach. It'll be great.
Maybe. So over on the DC side, Shazam's coming out soon, and the big cameo in Shazam. Yeah, the big cameo has already been spoiled thanks to commercials.
Crazy. Right?
The director was so pissed at first, and now he's kind of reversed his stance. I'm not going to tell you who the cameo is. You can watch the TV commercials and judge for yourself.
Yeah, I bet whoever the cameo is will be wonderful. Is what I'm sure of.
I think it'll be a wonderful cameo too.
After the one of just nobody, a random person's chest with an S on it last time.
Yeah, no underwear.
Yeah, look, this movie is projected to make no money. Like it's now projected to lose money. It's projected to hit like 100 million total.
Yeah, I'm not interested in seeing it.
No. Look, unless they are missing all of the points in the commercial, and it's a much better movie than the ads are. But if anybody could screw it up, we got to talk Flash too. Oh, it was so good.
Pretty sure
anybody can screw it up. It's DC.
Pretty sure they've given away every good plot point and the cameo in the commercials and the trailers already. So what's the point in seeing it?
Right. That's what I don't understand. I'm like, there's got to be more to this, because if they drag this story out for the whole whatever the runtime is, I don't even know what the runtime is.
No.
That's going to be an awful viewing experience, because it looks like we already know all of the big hits to it, which doesn't make any sense why you would give all that away.
No. Well, now I understand why that Citizens Bank Park got the larger scoreboard is because it was destroyed in Shazam. So they got a new scoreboard.
Exactly. I'm sure. Look, they're going to tie that in.
Connecting the dots.
It doesn't even have a runtime on IMDb yet.
So in my last bit of DC news, James Gunn has been hammered on Twitter about Henry Cavill lately. Actually, since it happened. So he replied. There were rumors going around that Henry Cavill was cast as Frankenstein in DC. James Gunn came out and said, no, he's not Frankenstein. But they have spoken to Henry about possible other DC roles. So they haven't shut the door on him being in DC. If I was Henry, I would give them 2 middle fingers and I would go be great Captain Britain.
Yeah, or whoever. Like, right? Like
anybody.
If Marvel leaned in and did Excalibur the right way, the way the comic was run, out of all of the like X titles that came out in the 90s, Excalibur was the one that was like the wackiest, craziest. Like it was Legends of Tomorrow, but X-Men. Or it was just like whatever we want to do, we're going to. Oh, we're stuck in another world now. Oh my God, we're doing it. Just all off the wall stuff.
Not
Excalibur. It would be a blast.
Not Excalibur with the young Sir Patrick Stewart.
No.
And the
and Helen Mirren.
And Helen Mirren. The knights running across the top of the castle with cigarettes in their mouths.
Yeah, look.
Not that
you did what you had to do. By the way, Shazam is 2 hours and 10 minutes.
That's 2 hours and 10 minutes longer than
It's really long for what those commercials are previewing.
And the last little bit of outside news.
Hold on.
Wait,
we're still on DC though. There was a whole episode of The Flash.
How could I forget?
That we even talked about in real time. Again, as I have to say it every week, if you're not watching the final season of The Flash,
please suffer with us.
You really should, because there's few, if any, shows I've ever seen where you can say, wow, I can't believe they did that in the worst possible way. And then the next week be like, wow, they really one-upped themselves from the week before. This is even worse.
Please come with us.
Yeah. So this past week, we completely wrapped up the Batwoman cycle. We're there. Red Death is already done. We're on through this. Chillblain, Mark is a good guy again. Everything's forgiven. Batwoman shows up at the end and saves the day. For no reason.
Hey, is Caitlin, whatever the hell her name is, Frost now?
Keon? No, they'll give her all new powers now, because why not? Because you needed to do that in the last season. No, but Chillblain has cold powers.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So could have been from him, because you missed he and Frost were boyfriend girlfriend, and because they were both cold powers. Yes. And that's from the comics. Now his character was actually Golden Glider's boyfriend in the comics, because he replaced Captain Cold and had Captain Cold's gun for a little while, and then joined up with her. But not only that, we got to say goodbye to Joe West.
Yeah, that was a little touching.
Who has spent 9 seasons watching his kids marry each other, and now have a child coming between the two of them, his son and daughter together. It's a beautiful thing. And
the last 2 seasons basically sitting from place to place.
Yeah, and meanwhile he tells his wife of 5 seasons, your powers are too important to this team. I'm going to take our child and move away, and you will never see them except for maybe on the weekends if you're not fighting crime.
Right.
And she said, that's the most wonderful thing I've ever heard. Thank you for taking away our young child from me so that I can't spend time with them.
Right.
I think she may be Jax Teller now on the show. I'm not sure.
What? Okay.
That was just for you. I knew you'd enjoy that one.
Let me before, because I don't want to spend long on talking about this. It was horrible. It was an awful episode. It's absolutely freaking sucked. But so the portal things that Cisco made, right?
Yeah. They work great.
They don't open up in like splashy Stargate water things now. It's puffs of smoke.
Yeah, they spent all their money on lightning, on red lightning. Red lightning is super expensive.
Yeah, because now it's like they're throwing smoke bombs at their feet. Instead, they pushed a button, the watery portal opened up, and jumped through. It was cool.
Yeah, I would think that effect doesn't cost that much to keep doing, but I guess smoke is cheaper.
I don't know, dude. I think the show, I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Oh, you got to.
Well, now we're in the
Come
now we're
on, we're
going
like
into
a third of the way through.
right, we're going into the back half now, right? Like, so we got
No, we're not. Don't jump ahead. We're not at the halfway point yet.
no?
No, I think we're 5 episodes in, but we still have 8 to go.
How many episodes are there total?
13.
13. So episode 9 is the big episode, though.
Sure.
That's the
I don't
one
know why in episode 9 is the big
because that's
big
when
thing.
Oliver Queen comes back.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
9.
I don't know how they're going to do that.
Well, they can flashback. They can have Barry get knocked unconscious, and he can talk to him in his mind because, they can do time travel. They can do flashback.
Right.
Get it? Flashback.
They'll do something. Yeah, he'll be the other Flash. He'll be another Flash because we're gonna. I bet you we continue to get the different variants from Metal Knights from Dark Metal in the comic books, and we're gonna get all the different variations of Flash and Bruce Wayne and those things, but it'll just be different characters playing them.
Well, you know what you're not getting? You're not getting Suicide Squad, the video game this year. It's going to be delayed till next year now.
Oh, is it next year? Wow.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, it sounded awful.
Well, you'll have Gotham Knights to hold you over.
Yeah, I'm done with that. I'm almost done Hogwarts Legacy. I'm close.
Yeah, I'm not. No, I meant the TV show.
Oh yeah, that comes out tomorrow. So
Yeah,
hey,
no, I'm not.
anybody that wants to join in on Superman and Lois and Gotham Knights, tomorrow night's the night. You can see Batman's random child that is unnamed.
I can happily tell you, I'm not touching this show. Happily, I won't have anything to. I will watch Superman and Lois, and this week I will watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. I
so
absolutely will. Pinky promise.
Yeah, I'll believe that when you text me and wow, why did I sleep on this movie for a year?
Fair enough. Bob Iger has some news.
That guy.
You might like this news. Bob has said that they have to look at how many times they go back to the well within Marvel, meaning more new characters and maybe not as many sequels. He's saying that they're going to probably do fewer third and fourth movies of the same character, and they're going to kind of take a step back from that, maybe do 2 and go to a new character. I think that's an awesome idea until the new guy comes in and changes everything.
Yeah, I disagree. I think the problem where we're at with Marvel right now is they've introduced so many characters that nobody cares about any of them.
So you don't think that 3 or 4 movies is too much for a character?
No, because Iron Man 3, I still wanted more because they were well done.
What about Thor 3?
Thor 3 was finally when they finally got them right.
Right, and then they ruined it.
Yeah, and then they I think they have to be better in their writer and director selection.
I agree with that.
Mainly in their writer selection. Like Taika, great director, not a great writer for a big, huge blockbuster movie. Great director and writer for like Our Flag Means Death and Into the Shadows, but not for a movie you want to have make $1 billion.
No. All right, so I shot over to Link to Dom. So before Dom comes in, you want to spoil the Mandalorian because he hasn't watched that. So we can, you and I
don't know how much there is to spoil with it. I mean, it was a better episode than the first one. I thought having Bo-Katan back was fantastic.
The internet thirsted over Bo-Katan in that episode.
Yeah, look, her character is great. They really played it properly. She got to do a lot of moves that we haven't seen.
No, that Darksaber stuff was tight.
Yeah, we haven't seen Katie Sackhoff do a lot of that since Battlestar Galactica, if not her when she was voicing Bo in Clone Wars. But overall, I think they handled it well. I thought it was interesting to really see, you get this nonchalant, like defeated view of Mandalore from Bo. And then in the same instance, like when they're down in the pit and they're getting ready to get in the water. He's zoned out and not even listening. He's like, this is my religion. This is what I need to do. And you finally start to see a little bit of where his head's really at.
Right.
And where his focus is.
So with that, did he just walk too far and there was a deep ledge and he fell off it, or did he get pulled under by
I think he got pulled.
the mythosaur?
Yeah, which isn't the mythos. I thought the mythosaur is what he fought in the first episode, in the first season that he has on his thing. What is that?
No, that was a boar. That was a giant boar type of thing.
Oh, I thought that was a something sore that he has on his on his armor. But yeah, I thought this episode was great. The RD54 bring in was great. Pulling him back from the original episode, and we've seen glimpses of him through the whole Mandalorian series, and then bringing him in as the new astromech.
Yep.
I thought it was cool, but then it really made me feel like the first episode was a complete waste for all the IG-11 stuff besides playing it for laughs, which was a little annoying because clearly you didn't need him because this astromech did the same job just fine, even though we flew all over the place for no reason, trying to look for ways to get IG-11 going in the first episode and introducing the pirates and all those things.
Okay, so the signet on his shoulder is that of the mythosaur, but that's not what he fought. I can't find out what he's fought.
Okay.
What he fought.
I thought that's what he had on his armor.
Yes, that's the symbol that he got put on there. Yes.
Okay.
But the mythosaur, from what I had read, was a mythological creature that I don't see him in the chat where he's supposed to be. It's this mythological creature that apparently roamed the planet's surface so long ago, and
yeah, and apparently now lives in the well of there. You know, and seeing that, I guess that's where they're going to set it up, and we're going to kind of dig in the rest of the season, which is great.
Yeah, apparently she's got a big part in this season, so that's really good. I'm extremely happy to see that.
Yeah, I'm in. I was underwhelmed by the first episode, but this one definitely brought me back in. I like the whole concept, and I was even sitting there. There's the little guy that keeps getting smaller. I was like, I bet that's not the smallest form that we just got of this guy. I bet there's a little one in his head.
Yeah, it's very grievous.
It was, and then it popped through, which I thought was pretty cool. The way they played that whole thing.
Is there a way for me to add him somewhere else, and I'm just not seeing it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how any of that stuff works.
Yeah,
not when you're in here.
No, let me try. Nope, that didn't work.
Oh, look, it's fancy stuff. If you're watching us on the screen, you probably can't see the fancy stuff.
Regenerate. Let's try this.
I did while you're looking for Dom. I did rewatch because we were trying to find something that my kid would watch that wasn't Superhero Squad. Which, if you haven't watched Marvel Superhero Squad, super fun. It's actually they do the whole Infinity Saga for 2 seasons on this show.
Oh, I think I have to add him here.
But all sorts of random ways. So we got away from that for a minute and watched Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. The first 25 minutes of that movie are great. So I don't know where they when they decided to go so far off in it. I don't think Sam Raimi and those guys wrote the first 20 minutes or so. Because until you get past the wedding, and past the Dead Strange until when they go meet Wanda, it's actually a really good, exciting, engaging movie. And then you bring Wanda in, and the whole thing just goes to crap.
For what was that again now?
For the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh.
Like, I rewatched it, and like I said, the scene in the other universe with the other Strange is great. The part where you pull it in, and he's doing the wedding, and then he's going to the battling the big beast out in the streets with Wong and everything, great.
Yep.
And then you get past that, and it just goes to garbage.
Yeah.
So you bring in Wanda, now you change the entire dynamic of the story for no real good reason. Like, I could see that movie, that first part was pre the rewrite for Wanda, because I could see all of that being pulled back over to the Nightmare character that was supposed to be the big bad, and having that be all these things that he pulled out of people's nightmares and in dreams, because they're like going hard into this. When you dream, you see all these other realities,
right?
And then they just took Nightmare out and plugged Wanda in, which is why the movie became so disjointed the rest of it.
Gotcha.
Because instead they took out that Nightmare. I think it's because they decided to go with Kang, that they took out Nightmare had access to all these multiverses, because then you lessen how important Kang is at having all these variants and being across the multiverse and having all that knowledge, then
Gotcha.
Kang's not as big of a deal because you just did the same thing with Nightmare movie before.
Right.
So I think that's probably why we ended up changing that movie around and adding Wanda in and ruining the whole thing there. Oh, and now we lost Frank. Bye, Frank. It was wonderful seeing you, though, Frank. So, look, if you're listening to the podcast, you're probably going to hear an ad now.
Sorry about that.
But if you're watching, you didn't just hear an ad, so you're very lucky. So thanks for streaming and watching live with us. Frank is still coming in and out. He's wandering around.
Yeah, Frank's trying to set the thing up with Dom real fast.
Oh, well, that's good.
No, I don't know.
You invited him already, right?
I did. I just have to make sure that I add him to the right session.
Oh, that's fancy. Yeah, I had trouble finding the session earlier too because there's a bunch of sessions.
Well, that's because we're good.
We are good. We are super great at this. Whatever platform we use. I don't know how to say it, so I'll probably offend somebody if I try. But I'm not. I'm not going to make that shot right now.
EV Mux.
Well, there it is. So hey, while we're waiting for Dom to join, if you're in Delco or Montgomery County this week, I'll be at Barnaby's Aston on Wednesday night for a little pre-St. Patty's Day shenanigans, and then the full-on day itself at Crossroads Tavern in Percy. So you can stop on out. I'll be doing Irish tunes and all the other stuff too. So lots of good stuff on tap there. And then and Frank will be playing Destiny and watching everything everywhere all at once.
He will actually.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
I will.
Yep. It's only been streaming on, I want to say Paramount or Peacock or one of those for 7 months. Amazon, one of those. But with that, bringing over to the Oscar talk.
Slowly.
Which, if anybody watched the Oscars last night, God bless you, because it was long. And there was so many jokes about slaps and Will Smith and all these things.
I didn't see any of that. Were the jokes any good?
About those specifically or in general?
In general.
And look, they were Jimmy Kimmel jokes. They were safe. It was all monologue and a couple jabs here and there. There was a great one where Elizabeth Banks came out to present visual effects, and Cocaine Bear stormed the stage with her.
That's kind of funny
because she directed Cocaine Bear. So there was a lot of kind of cringe jokes through there about no, stop looking at Sigourney Weaver. She doesn't have cocaine on her. Go get it at the after party like everybody else.
Oh, I did it. Hey, I did it.
You did. You did, but he's not up here yet.
No, he's not up here yet. I can see his mouth.
Are you going to add him up here?
You got to move your camera up before I add you. There you go. Now I can see your sunglasses at night.
Those aren't sunglasses.
There he goes. No, there is regular glasses. There we go.
All right, Dom, good to see you.
Hey, Dom.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
All right. Now I got it. It only took us 10 minutes.
Can you see me? It's only giving me like a freeze frame and a picture of myself. Can you see me?
Yeah.
We can see and hear you. Oh, no.
Nope. That's a lot of Frank. Nobody wants that much Frank.
Nobody wants that much Frank.
You were good before.
How about that?
That much Frank is pretty good, though. You can't knock it.
Look.
It's a good spot right there.
I'm okay with that much Frank. Yeah, I can see your green curtains.
Green screen, baby.
I have one in the closet. It never works for me. That's nothing ever does.
So Dom, before we jump into Oscars talk and Last of Us and all those things, you get your thoughts on that. You got something new and exciting coming up, right? You've been in the chat all this time, helping us out, keeping the conversation going. You're starting to bring some own conversation, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And before I get started on that, I want to weigh in on something. It's definitely an at. That's definitely what we call them in the Star Wars universe. I know someone said AT-AT, but at is way better.
I like it.
So we'll go with that. But first things first, I appreciate you guys for always having me on. This is my third time on. Like I said, I generally appreciate you guys having me on. And for those that don't know, I basically started my own channel. It's called the Ace Avenue. For someone like myself who loves talking about sports and movies I've been told I should make a channel for the longest. As Frank knows, we have our own little pop culture page where I've done various movie reviews, and a lot of people seem to like it. So I kind of just, after all the movies I go to, I kind of give my spoiler-free review, and then, after about 2 weeks, I usually give my spoiler review. So basically, I decided to start my own channel where I'll be doing movie reviews, reactions, and rankings. And then on the sports side, I'll be doing a lot of live play-by-plays. Not just centered around my favorite teams, the Giants and the Yankees, but other teams as well. Like I'm looking forward to that. Yankees play the Philadelphia Phillies in the first week, so I'll definitely be doing live play-by-play. Maybe if Frank is available, maybe do a little collaboration with him.
Absolutely.
And besides that, I'm looking real forward to just this journey, man. Like I love talking. Like I said, someone who loves talking about movies and sports. Why not just make a channel and just do it all the time? It's just seems like the perfect thing to do.
I think doing a live stream of Phillies Yankees would be great until MLB shuts us down in like inning 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're allowed to do live play-by-play as long as you don't show. As long as you're just giving updates and you're not showing anything, you're allowed to do that.
Okay, I'll remember that next time we're watching a movie that we're not.
On. Yeah, exactly. So you could definitely do that. You're not going to, violate no terms of agreements. But that's basically what it is. The Ace Avenue, you can check me out on that. Already, the channel's live, working on some videos now, working on some edits and stuff like that. Like I was telling Frank, ran into a little bit of PC problems, so that should be resolved early this week, and I'll be back to making videos very soon.
Cool. And that's all on YouTube, or is you everywhere?
YouTube, and I have a Facebook page, but I haven't started it yet. But basically, just started it off. I know some people are like, you should do the Twitch route, but I'm definitely more prone to YouTube. So I'll probably definitely start on there, see where it goes from there. And I'm just excited to, see where the channel evolves. And, movies and sports are definitely going to be where it starts. A lot of people want to see me do gaming. I do a little bit of gaming, but, I know shooters are the main thing that people get popular on, but I'm not a real big shooter. Main game I play is pretty much Rocket League, so I do that. But besides that, yeah, I'm just looking to see where the channel evolves from there, and I'm excited.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Oscars?
Yeah. Let's talk Oscars. At least 2 of us, I'm sure, saw a couple of the movies.
I saw some of. Okay, well, the best, in the best picture category, Top Gun should have won. No, I'm kidding.
You saw one. You saw one of the 10, I think, right, Frank?
Hold on, let me see. All Quiet on the Western Front. I didn't see that. Anybody see that?
No.
Avatar.
Yep.
No. I refuse. I boycott that movie.
The Banshees.
No, until I saw a trailer, I was like, I'm going to go watch this. It sounds like it's really good. And then I watched a trailer and I was like, nope, not for me.
All right. I'm 0 for 3. Elvis.
That's on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 0 for 4.
Wow. We're doing a great job at Oscars talk.
Yeah. Fablemans?
Nope.
5. Tar? 6.
I should watch Tar. I mean, it's in one of my industries.
Yeah, it is. It is. Top Gun Maverick. Absolutely awesome movie. I loved everything about it. It's the only one I see.
Still on my list.
Triangle of Sadness. That's like right here.
After watching last night.
This is the Triangle of Sadness right here.
After seeing the clips from that movie last night on the Oscars, though, I want to see it now.
Is it?
It looks hilarious.
Oh, it's a funny movie?
Yeah, it's so like the ultra elite rich on a cruise boat that goes horribly wrong. Like Woody Harrelson's in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, that's all you needed.
Well, this is the Triangle of Sadness right now. And women talking, I could guess that as a 0 too.
I did not see that yet.
You both saw Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes,
absolutely.
Totally cleaned up last night, winning Best Picture, and I think 8 other awards aside from they won 9.
7. I thought they won 7 out of 11.
So there's one best.
And it's tough because 2 of them were in the same category against each other.
Yeah. So I'll stop on that one in a second. Or I'll do the big ones. But Best Picture at 1. Best Actress Michelle Yeoh. I thought that was awesome.
Well deserved for her.
Yeah, and her speech was great.
Best Lead Actor Brendan Fraser
for The Whale.
Yep, thought that was great. Best Director was Everything Everywhere All at Once. So that's 3.
The Daniels.
Yep. Best Film Editing was Everything Everywhere All at Once. Paul Rogers. That's 4.
Yeah, his second movie ever.
His what?
His second movie he's ever edited.
No shit.
Yeah.
Pretty good for him.
The speeches from Everything All at Once were great too, from every role that came up, because especially the director and the two directors, they it's only like the second movie they've done. They came up doing music videos.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they started writing this 10 years ago, and the guy wrote it, like, the concept, and they said this during the Oscars. He said, let's put my mom in the Matrix.
Oh,
And that's what they
okay.
did.
Best screenplay, that's 5.
They went best original screenplay, right? Best adapted screenplay went to Women Talking.
Yes, best original screenplay. Best, nope.
It was a very long broadcast.
Yeah.
I went an hour and 15, paused, went to The Last of Us, came back, and still didn't have any room to fast forward anymore.
Black Panther won best costume design.
Second win for that. Yep. So she's won twice. She won for the first Black Panther and this one as well.
So best supporting actor was
good luck, Frank.
6. Yeah, I stuttered on. I paused on purpose, waiting for one.
Won?
Yes, short round.
That was the first award of the night, and it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Did you see the little reunion picture?
I did. I saw Harrison Ford announce the movie
Best Picture.
right? Best Picture. So he came up and it was really nice to see. I did watch that video clip. So best supporting actress, Jamie Lee Curtis. Thoughts?
I'll let you go first, Dom, because I heard you have thoughts.
Now, it's well deserved. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. Now, I understand the backlash that it's going to get because of Angela Bassett's performance in Wakanda Forever, which was phenomenal, by the way. She basically, I mean, you can argue that she carried that movie. Me personally, I thought it was a good overall movie. Her performance was phenomenal, especially, it's been out, so everybody should know, especially because she died in the movie. It was just such a great performance. I would say probably one of the best performances in MCU, and people are not going to like it regardless, because at the end of the day, we all know when it comes to the Oscars, Marvel doesn't get the credit that it deserves. Anywhere, everywhere, everything all at once was a phenomenal movie. I would actually say it's probably the movie of 2022, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And it's well deserved. So for somebody like me, I'm not mad at it, but if Wakanda Forever came out a year before, or maybe even this year, it would be hard to deny Angela Bassett's contribute what she contributed, and it's just it was just tough that it went against this. So that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, and Angela Bassett was fantastic, but I think a lot of that shone through because the acting around her in Wakanda Forever was not great.
Absolutely.
But she, as you said, she was the star of that movie. If she'd made it through the whole movie, I would have said she should have been lead actress, because she acted circles around everybody else in that movie. And if you listen to our review a while ago when I talked about how she's the only movie star in that movie.
Absolutely.
So
I agree. And I mean, and Frank knows how I feel about Michael B. Jordan's acting and everybody else's acting. Even though I thought Latricia Wright, I thought she definitely held her own. I wasn't giving her enough credit when this movie first came out. I was like, there's no way she can do it. But I thought it was adequate, enough amount. But definitely Angela Bassett carried that entire movie.
Oh yeah.
I think Jamie Lee Curtis got the Oscar, and I said this I said this to you on the phone, Tom. This was her makeup Oscar. Like, she was good from what I understand, but she wasn't in the movie that long. But like Martin Scorsese, was she not in the movie that long?
She was in the whole movie. She was there.
Well, she was sprinkled throughout it, like almost the entire movie. She was there. In different variants and everything.
I read something online that said she wasn't in it. It was probably people hating on it, but Martin Scorsese didn't get the Best Picture award for 2 of his much, much better films, and he ended up getting it for The Departed. And it happens where these actors have these amazing performances and aren't recognized previously, and then they get it later in their careers. And I think that's kind of why she got it, partially why she got it now. I think I looked over the winners before we even did the show, and I think all the other winners were 100% deserving as in the main categories. least I
including
do.
Brendan Fraser, who's like America's sweetheart right now.
I've always loved Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, his speech was probably the most awkward point of the Oscars, though. Like he this isn't his first win, this award season, but he was really struggling to like get his words out and and he was just overcome. So fun fact, that they pointed out early, but like 2 guys from Encino Man won Oscars last night.
I didn't even realize he was in Encino Man, and that was one of my favorite movies of that era. I was a
Okay,
huge
who Kwan, you mean?
Yeah,
I'm shocked Frank has even seen Encino Man.
Well,
my God,
it was a different time.
I've seen Encino Man more times than I've seen almost anything. I think that was my genre back then. Pauly Shore, they were great.
I will say, so one other thing with Everything Everywhere All at Once, I don't know if you watched the pre-show at all, Dom, or anybody else listening. So on that, they did interview James Hong, who was in the movie, plays Michelle Yeoh's dad. He is 94 years old.
Her dad?
In the movie. Yeah.
Wow,
her dad, who you know from Big Trouble in Little
yeah.
China. So he was talking about it. He's like, when I started, I was acting with Clark Gable and John Wayne.
Oof.
John Wayne was an up-and-comer when he was already established.
That's crazy.
And he didn't start acting until he was 25. But like the breadth of his career, Frank, you know him from Big Trouble in Little China.
Who? Oh, Lopan.
Yep. That's all I need to say, right?
Wait, was he Lopan or was he?
He was the bad guy with the long fingernails and the
Lopan. Oh, I love Lopan.
Yeah, I mean, he was in Gremlins.
I'm gonna go watch that tomorrow.
So he went from a movie where they had long fingernails to a movie where they had long fingers that were like hot dogs, and it's crazy how that works.
He has 456 credits on IMDb.
Holy Christ! I'm actually gonna watch Trouble in Little China tomorrow. Now, thank you, Jack.
Yeah, look, Jack Burton that will not steer you wrong in the Pork Chop Express.
Fuck, Jack Burton's the shit.
Yeah, his first movie. Hold on. Mm-hmm. His first movie was, and his first thing was Dragonfly Squad in 1954.
Damn, I was 6.
But that was his first movie, and he was up there second row last night. It was great seeing him.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know if either one of you saw the Hugh Grant controversy from last night either, with Ashley Graham's interview with Hugh Grant. Oof.
But I heard it was awkward.
Oh my God, it was rough.
Like, really?
He didn't know who she was or why she was talking to him, and he showed it.
Oh my God.
It was savage. She's like, so did you really enjoy the Knives Out movie? He's like, I was in about 30 seconds of it, so, I was there. She's like, okay. Well, are you rooting for anybody tonight? What do you mean? Why would I be rooting for anybody? I'm not up for any awards.
And he's
like, you should watch it. It's savage.
I will watch it.
You gotta love those awkward live moments. You gotta love them.
I will watch it before I sit to play more Destiny in a little bit.
She was like, oh, well, then who are you wearing? My suit?
Ooh.
He's like,
this is over, Frank. You need to put on Everything Everywhere All at Once. I told you to try to watch it before the show, but yeah, you gotta watch that.
I watched the episode at the office while I was eating dinner.
That's not a surprise.
No. All right. So there was another show on last night that Jack didn't want to watch. He wanted to watch the Oscars instead. But there was
been better off.
There was a season. I said series. Season finale of The Last of Us. So if you have not watched The Last of Us yet, if you haven't watched any of it, if you have not watched the finale that was on last night, pause listening to the show and then jump back in on the podcast around 48 minutes.
Unless you played the game, then you're good.
Yeah, if you play the game, you're good. But about 48 minutes, 40 seconds, you come back, listen to the whole show again, laugh along with us, and we're gonna just talk about the end of that now. What did you guys think, Dom?
The series as a whole, I give it about a 7.5. I was never really huge into the games, but I've watched the gameplay like they were movies because they are that entertaining. So I know everything that happens, you know what I'm saying, from this standpoint. For a show that's primarily focused around the infected, we missed the infected. There were next to no infected throughout this entire series. Now, we had that one big episode where they all came out, you know what I'm saying, as a whole. But overall, what was it about besides, don't get me wrong, great acting, great character building between Joel and Ellie's character. My friend Randy had actually pointed this out. Joel's monotone talking throughout the series kind of added to the emotion, especially towards the end, because you can definitely feel how he transitions to actually like trying not to care about this girl to at the end, doing what he did to, and I don't know, Frank, I'm not giving any spoilers to anybody that hasn't seen, the game
Uh,
two, but it's what he did is going to have a lot of ramifications for going into the next season. My biggest thing is I liked it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Maybe one or two episodes I was kind of like it was kind of slow, but after that it kind of felt like they were rushing to get to a certain point. They were like, we're gonna rush through this, and we're every time it was like a time jump and they're already in a different city, but there's all these different adventures and all these different infected that they could have definitely came across. Like early, Jack knows this. Early, I think it was episode maybe one or two. What about the tower scene? Like they didn't really. There was so many things they could have did with that, and it just seems like they were trying to get to an end game. They were trying to get to a point, and they're like, we have to rush as fast as we can. Why not have just slowed down and let us enjoy it? You know what I'm saying? Build these characters. You didn't have to finish game one in season one. You could have just drawn it out to like two seasons, then just like gave us way more infected. And it just seemed like it was rushed. But overall, there were things about it I liked, things about it I didn't like. So, like I said, I give it about an overall 7.
Yeah, I think that they skipped all the gameplay and just did the cutscenes. Right, this series, like there was a couple gameplay, like you get Joel in the tower doing the sniper rifle when the one time you did see infected. Other than that, they skipped all of the times when you start to like your character. And in the game,
Mm-hmm.
particularly when the two of them are walking, you get all the little conversation, which shows you Joel start to soften, and you get all those beats in the story in those 25 hours of gameplay. On the show, you didn't like the. I don't feel like Joel at the beginning of this episode lines up with Joel from when we were at Tommy's town. Right? Like there was a huge
I can
progression
see that.
there, and it shouldn't be that long because they drove there in a day.
Yeah.
Right? So we didn't miss that much time with the two of them. But like I felt like the jump to where we got, and I was like, this is great. This is what I wanted for these two. But I don't think we earned that relationship through the show.
Yeah.
To when the
I,
two of
I
them
liked.
had that rapport and were joking, and all of a sudden he's so much softer towards her. I don't. I would have liked to see that happen.
I think so. What I got out of it, and again, I never played the game, and I you both know my aversion to all things zombie, and for their credit, they on set refused to let them say the word zombie. That word was like banned from the set of the show, and we didn't get a lot of infected. And for me, that kept me interested in the show. That there wasn't a lot of infected in it. Now, from what I'm looking at, season 2 will have more infected, they said. Like they realized that there was a lack of, and they're going to probably overdo it in season 2 most likely. But one thing is they're not recasting Bella Ramsey. She's going to stay on as Ellie even in the time jump. Season 2 will be the game 2, but it will take 2 seasons, they said. They're going to do at least 3 seasons of this, of the show overall.
See, in my opinion, they should have just slowed
I
this one
I
down because,
I
like,
agree.
yeah,
9 episodes I think is too short. They should have gone maybe 12 or 13 episodes and given us more of these parts that you're talking about. That like I the change from the change that Ellie went through was felt sudden, but I understand from the last episode where she hacked a guy to pieces into this episode where she's just kind of like zoned out the whole like the beginning of the episode. I understand that and the trauma but it did feel like it was too fast because she went from that to, she saw the giraffe and she was like, "Oh my god, everything was okay again." Like
yeah. Speaking of which, that's a tall ass giraffe. Let's be honest with you, because they show us how it climbed up like 5
They
6
did.
stories, and
um
I'm like, dude,
so
Yeah, they were in a mad dash this episode
they
to
were.
get from like okay, here's and then to cram in all the flashbacks with
Well,
which was great with Ashley Johnson, right? The original voice of Ellie. It was great
So-
to see her.
I could not place where I saw her before until I looked her up.
She was in Avengers.
She was in the original Avengers movie. She was the waitress.
She's
Captain
in Blind
America
Spot.
thing.
She's from Growing Pains.
Is she from Growing
She's
Pains?
the last daughter in Growing Pains. She's
Shut
a little girl in
up.
Growing Pains.
That's why I okay.
That's where you know her from, not Avengers.
No, I do
Yeah.
remember from Avengers because everybody thought
Well,
that
I
was
remember her from Avengers.
that was one of the first moments in the MCU where like that's a character and Captain America paid a little bit of attention to her and everybody thought, "Ooh, that's the engineer." Well, I did, but no,
but she's great on Blind Spot, like fantastic on that
she
show.
was fantastic in this. That whole beginning was fantastic.
Yeah, I like the transition that they did from Ellie to Ellie. Like
Yes.
this is the one thing I would say I loved about the show. It was well shot and well directed.
Mhm.
Like I actually thoroughly enjoyed skimming past the credits to watch the stuff at the end as if it was part of the episode because it's good to get the director's point of view. And I know you know about this. I know if you guys have watched this. I don't know if Frank actually watched them, but the main theme that they've tried to push about this show has been love. Like they're
Yeah.
trying to take it from that standpoint as the cordyceps have like a relationship, they're in love, and then obviously Joel and Ellie and stuff like that. So they're trying to add a different dynamic to it. I just feel like they could have marinated in the moments more and let us really feel what was going on if they either separated this season into two this game into two seasons or gave us maybe about 12 to 14 more episodes.
I would have liked them to have split this season game one into two seasons, like you said. I think that would have been fine. Maybe it should have been 7 and 7 instead of 9. You know, if they wanted to do it short, you could do it all. You could have done it all in 14, but you could have played it out a little bit more. Yes, Pete, for Pete in the chat. She was the youngest daughter, as Jack mentioned, in the Growing Pains. She was the last one. I really enjoyed the show. I'm looking forward to the second season. It's probably going to be a year out at least, if we're lucky.
Probably. Jack, let me ask you, right? How do you think they're going to go about season 2? Because I know I said last week there was a theory where, and I actually thought it was a pretty good idea. I'll reiterate it, where maybe we get an entire flashback season of a different character that Jack knows, so that way, you know, since game 2 was mostly a lot of flashbacks, let us love that character, and then towards the end of season 2, we get that epic moment that Jack knows. I'm not going to say anything, so it'll be a lot of conflict between viewers, where it's like, damn, because this is the thing. Realistically, is Joel really the good guy? Like, we see things from Joel's perspective, but he's done a lot of bad things. And when you see things from somebody else's perspective, it might make you enjoy them a little more. And then when those two perspectives end up colliding with each other, what side are you going to be on?
I think that's what you get season 2. I think you get 2 storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's alternating episodes or interwoven in the same episode where you cut between the two, because I think that'll get tiresome if we're going 9 episodes with it. So I don't know how they play that, but I think you get to the end of season 2 is that what you're talking about.
So
Yeah.
the end,
And we get all the backstory that's all the flashbacks in the second game as season 2, and then the rest of the game is season 3.
so the ending
Yeah.
of the show is exactly how the game ended. That was like,
No, they're just in the car at the end of the game, right, Don? I'm trying to remember. It's been a few years, but I think they're just in the car leaving, and that's it.
Yeah, I believe so. And then they just ended this where they were just, you know, I guess
Right.
they're going back to Tommy's, I guess,
what I
because,
mean,
you know.
what I mean is the whole hospital part, like that's in the game. Like he becomes,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, but in the game it takes, at least twice as long.
well, because you keep dying and have to keep restarting, right?
No, but like you have to get through it. Like it felt like he was like, the next broom down, and there was only 6 people in this whole thing from the Fireflies with the huge Fireflies group,
Right, huge hospital.
and all this and all these Fireflies, and there's only 6 people there. Like I felt like the stuff that they cut and all the stuff we didn't get would have been the cheap stuff for them to do. So I don't know why we didn't get it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like they're on a but like did they not have a budget for this? Is this not HBO Max? Like, is HBO Max like losing so much money from DC that they can't even like give us this shit? Like, it was just crazy.
And honestly, they probably could have used all the screenshots for all the backgrounds that they had from the remastered game, and nobody would have known.
Right. It's not like they used it on Infected, right?
Like, but where's all the money going to? Because it seemed like a lot of dialogue was taken out of the game. She didn't need that many writers. Like, and I appreciated the word for word, like matching it up against the game and stuff like that. But it's just, it could. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying I didn't like it, but I felt like it could have been better in ways. But I'm gonna try to appreciate it for what it was worth.
All right, I got two more things. Dom, you can hang if you want. It's real fast. I'm gonna show some pictures in a second. But what I forgot to mention earlier was Picard season 3 is I'm a huge Trekkie. This was an absolute Wrath of Khan episode, like in every way, shape, and form. Probably one of the best episodes of the 3 seasons of Picard, and I've said that the last episode, and this one topped it even more. It was just an all-around great suspenseful episode. If you haven't watched it, you really don't need to watch the first 2 seasons. Jump in at season 3, and it goes right away. It's a sensational show. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share some pictures. I've been on a Lego kick lately. I've been doing these big Lego sets, and these are ultimate collector sets. Let me add this in here. This was the first one that I did. I'm gonna blow that up big. That,
every time you post one of those pictures, I think about that one scene from Spider-Man: Homecoming where Ned is drops. I'm like, Frank, do not drop this. Like,
I can't find that less than $1,200, and I'm not paying that for that model because it's a retired model. So this is the Millennium Falcon. This is almost 7,000 pieces from scratch. That's it. Set up on the table there. That's an awesome picture above it. But it came with these little figurines. It came with a Mynock, and then old Harrison, old Han Solo, young Han Solo, Chewie, Finn, Leia, Rey, C-3PO, BB-8, and then the 2 little stupid porgs. So I built that. Yeah, I love the porgs. That took about almost 2 weeks, like a little bit every day. This is the other one I did. This is the Razor Crest. Inside there's a weapons locker. Oh, and the Millennium Falcon has different rooms in it too. It's got the room, and it's got all the little rooms in it, and it's really cool. One day I'll have to take all the pictures of that. The Razor Crest has little rooms in it too. Weapons locker, carbonite, frozen bounties, and then I put it in here, and I set it up in front of my TV with
very nice,
with the Mandalorian on it and my PlayStation and whatnot there. And then this was the last one I did. This thing is 2 feet tall. The AT-AT.
Oh wow!
It's 2 feet. Now there's a little Razor Crest and a little X-wing above it. It's 2 feet tall. Comes with 2 little speeder bikes that you build. The sides open up. There's about 40 chairs on the inside of that for little figures to sit because it's troop transport. Oh, it's ridiculous. I have pictures of inside the cockpit, and I'm going to make a big album one day, and I'm going to post it. But that's been my passion lately.
So what's the next one you're going to get?
I have the Moss Eisley Cantina downstairs. It's a whole bunch of different little pieces. Yeah, it just came today.
Sounds like something you can do during Everything Everywhere All at Once.
No, because I sit. Oops.
You know what you should do? You should do a little GoPro time lapse.
I thought about
all the time it takes. That'd be fire.
I thought about doing it. Maybe I'll take the Falcon apart someday and do that. Whew. But that's it. I just wanted to share. For those of you listening to the podcast version, I will put the pictures up on Facebook, and maybe I'll put them up on the YouTube channel as like a slideshow down the line. That's a good idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah, and for everybody, listening, as he said, you can catch the pictures there. You can drop us the 5-star rating anywhere you get your podcast. Tell a friend. Dom, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at the 8th Avenue. Right now it's on YouTube. The channel's going up. Already got a couple videos up. Already got some subscribers. I appreciate everybody that's subscribed and joined the channel. I appreciate you guys. And definitely I appreciate the Geek Spot. Appreciate you guys.
Looking forward to watching all the fun stuff. and ripping the Giants this year.
Awesome.
Oh, we doing that? Don't do that at
no,
the end though. You got to do that at the beginning. You got to give me time to fire back.
We
He's like
will when the
sneaking out. I'm
season
about to hit
starts.
the end
Don't
button.
worry, we'll have a crossover when the season starts. You guys can do some sports stuff. So thanks everybody for finding the Geek Spot. You can check me out at jackkidmusic.com. See where I'm at this week and the rest of the month. You can check out Frank Gimzak. Maybe he'll stream some more Destiny 2. And thank you all for finding the Geek Spot, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.